All right, today we are talking with Ted about hiking, and this particular session is going to also highlight and introduce and encourage you to participate in the summer reading program, especially at Spring Valley Public Library, but also across the county. All right, so the theme is tales and tales, and so I'm going to tell you 3 tales about hiking encounters where tales were a part of it. Now, there are other encounters that I've had, and when I've given programs and sessions and instruction and hiking since 1976, September, people ask me, well, what about when I run into a rattlesnake or a javelina or a coyote or a bear or something like that? What'll I do? What'll happen? And so I'm going to introduce 3 of those tales. There are a lot more. One of the things that we have going on at Spring Valley Library is a series of sessions about hiking, and one of them that I'll kick off with on the 15th of June will be about other encounters, escaped convicts, car breaks down, you get lost, I lost my son, other incidents. But this time we're talking about tales. All right, so the first tale is an encounter with a very long tail. Now this is a very long tail, all right? And so what kind of animal is this tail belong to? All right, so West Clear Creek, Sirius Slot Canyon, 40 miles solo. Ponds to float, bushwhacking, cross country. Have a car parked at the west end in Verde Valley. My dad drops me off up on Mogollon Rim. I stumble down this canyon. Each day my left knee hurts a little bit more. So on the 4th day, I'm looking forward to finding the trail. There's a trail at the end. You can hike in from the west end, and it's called the Bullpen, and it's a nice hike because that's where the trail is, okay? But the trail doesn't go very far, but I am looking for this trail so when I come out I can pick up the pace a little bit. All right, so there's a big rock. I've got a full pack, of course, and I lift my left leg up and I stand all my weight up on this rock. It's like a knife. Someone took a knife and they jammed it into my left knee. My left knee will no longer bend because it hurts a lot. And so I don't like that. I'm going to be late. I'm a workaholic. I have to be at work the next day. What if I had to get rescued? It'd be pretty embarrassing. Wouldn't like that. You know, pride goes before the fall. I'm coming to the other end of the tale here. All right, so what do we do when we get stuck? Now, it just so happens that I finished reading Time Machine last night. The movie was much better, okay? There's a scene in there about books. What did he do in the year 800,000 when it went sideways? He cried out to God, okay? Rock in a hard place. What did Aaron Ralston do when he was stuck in the canyon? Okay, he had a conversation with God. Okay, we call them foxhole prayers. That's what we do. Apollo 13, oh, if you want to watch the movie, you can watch the movie of Aaron Ralston's getting stuck. Apollo 13, I watched the other day. And Joint Session of Congress, what did they do when they're stuck in a bad place? Prayer. The Pope did the same thing worldwide. So this is what we do. I cried out to God. I don't like what's happening, and it shouldn't happen, because bad things shouldn't happen to good people, right? Because I'm a good people. Well, kind of good. So I want to be helped, and I want to be healed. Dragging my foot along, banging into rocks. There's not a lot of room in this canyon. Water's flowing, cliffs, bushes. Doesn't help. I'm not helped. I'm not healed. I don't hear anything. So I keep going. What am I going to do? I have to keep going. When we don't get the answer that we're looking for, or we don't hear anything, then what do? Why is this happening to me? Because it's not supposed to happen. Bad things. We see them all the time in other people's lives, but it's not supposed to happen to me. No answer, no writing in the sky, no booming voice. Keep going. So there's a stream cut, it's a flooded, you know, it's West Clear Creek there, there's water in there. And so there's a big stream cut on the right, there's a big batch of reeds on the left, Arundo Donax, I think. And so I find a very faint animal path between the reeds and the stream cut. So I'm kind of going along and through there. Right there, 5 feet in front of me is a very large mountain lion. As I came around that corner, walking towards me. What do? Most of the time, stuff like this, it happens so fast, you don't have time to be afraid or to think about it. The mountain lion, however, being a lot more adept at these sort of things than I was, immediately did an about face and went back the other way. What did I do? I walked with it. I followed after it. Everybody thinks that's a weird thing to do. But I walked where it went. And then, what's happening, there are rocks falling on my head. Okay? So it went back, it jumped up on the top of the stream cut, and now it's right above me. This is when I started to get a little bit concerned. But I kept going, and I could see where the stream cut wasn't as steep or high, so I scrambled up there. No mountain lion, nothing, never saw it again. Okay, the greatest wildlife encounter of my life. That's a blessing, number one. When you ask why, sometimes the answer comes later. 12 steps up the hill, guess what I found? The trail. 15 minutes down the trail, my leg no longer hurt. Okay, so things fall into place. Sometimes in hindsight, we can understand what's happening. Speaking of prayer. Okay, so hiking in Arizona all this time, and I have not seen a bear on the trail in Arizona, and I want to do that. I think that would be a good thing to do. Add it to my bucket list, you know, run into a bear, a mountain lion, a rattlesnake, you know. That may not be on your bucket list, but it was on my bucket list. Of course, you have a caveat from a safe distance. So, Grapevine Canyon, I've spent a lot of time in there, designated botanical area. It's nearby, it's west side of Mayer. And so I hiked in there quite a bit. Then the Goodwin Fire came through there, changed everything. And so now I'm documenting its recovery from wildfire. But before that happened, usually when I hike in there, I hike to the spot where the trail goes to the right and then up in the chaparral to the waterfall. I usually go up, I stay by the water and scramble up through there, and then when I come back, I take the chaparral trail portion, then come back down in the canyon. Shady, wetter, cooler along the creek side. So, I go up, I do my deal with the waterfall, I'm checking things out, and then I notice that my sunglasses are gone. What happened to them? Where did they go? So, I must have dropped them by the creek. So, which is where I found them in the first place years ago. So, instead of going back to Chaparral, I come to the part where that split is at the top. And I head back down to the creek. Well, at that time, was a fenced section there. And a big juniper had fallen over the fence. And so you had to kind of climb up over the fence, and the juniper helped to get to where I was when I'm heading back down. And I pause because going along below, it's about 20 feet away from me and 10 or so feet lower, I see a great big black furry thing going across my path. I've seen cattle up there, but this was not a moo-moo. So it's a bear. Isn't that exciting? So the bear notices me, stops, and it looks in my direction. And I scared it, I guess. So I thought that it would make a lot of noise. It would crash and go through the brush and be very disturbance oriented. I think that bear sprouted wings, or it was wearing some of those shoes that you pump air in there because it didn't make a sound. Maybe my hearing had gone goofy. But it flew away from me up the other side of the canyon. Oh, I forgot. This is a bear's tail. Okay, this is a tail of a tail, part of our summer reading program. Don't forget the connection. Lots of ways to enter, for all ages. Read the books, watch the videos, come to Ted's hiking programs, watch them on Facebook. Lots of ways to participate. Drawings, thanks to the friends, $100 cash prizes, 3 of them, and other little prizes. Thanks to our friends at Mayer High School, shirts are going to be prizes. Thanks to State Library and State Parks for giving us State Parks passes and other materials to make this fun. All right, libraries, how do you spell library? F-U-N. Bring people together to get more out of life. Now, one bear, one mountain lion, but lots of rattlesnakes. Some people don't like snakes, but they are very beautiful. Now I have a tail. I had to kind of improvise my tail. This is a shorter tail. It's a rattlesnake tail. Use your imagination, okay. All right. And I've encountered lots of them, but the one I'm going to tell you about is Picacho Peak. All right, so I helped my daughter move into U of A. She's going to school down there, and I come back. It's in August. The sun is going down. This is when the snakes come out, but I don't care because I want to get to the summit while it's still light enough to see. So I go up to the base of the cliff, then you go to a notch, and you'll see the pictures, and then you go down, and the railing that's provided there's a cliff on the one side and a drop-off on the other, and they have this railing to keep you in place. Then you go around the backside, come up even more scary railing, which of course is a lot of fun. So I get to the top, thunderstorms, lightning, and it's getting dark. As I came back down, I'm sliding my hand along the cable railing and things are falling off. Lizards, I'm knocking them off as I slide along there. Geckos or whatever. All right, and so then I come back to the section where the cliff's on the one side, the drop-off's on the other. There's probably this much space between them. Lightning flashes is the only illumination that I have. What do I see? Rattlesnake. Crawling across my path to the cliff, which is pretty close. What am I going to do? You got to go for it. I'm not going to stay there all night. So, also, how many more snakes are along the path? You don't know. Okay? They don't always rattle, and I've got several pictures of different ones. Some of them beautiful green. One in Grapevine Canyon after the fire is pure black. I asked him, what are you doing here? There's nothing to eat because it's all burned up. The snake on Picacho Peak, as I decided, I'd given it enough time to get across the path. It knows it can't eat you and it's not going to chase you. It wants you to leave it alone. So I decided that I could just go past it really fast, which I did. And it rattled and I kept going, no issues. Pretty exciting. Okay. This is maybe one reason, probably the only reason, that people don't hike with me because, it's kind of scary sometimes. All right, so summer reading program, tales and tales, lots more tales to tell, books, prizes, movies, pizza. Now is the time to enjoy summer and to make the most of your time, okay? Reading is so important. The Time Machine book, 1895, they quit reading and the books just crumbled. They became the dumbest things on the planet. Don't let that happen. Read, watch, participate, engage, all right? See you in the library. Or on the trail, and we could tell a tale.